Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we are continuing with those mock draft videos to help you guys with your upcoming drafts for redraft. Of course, if there are dynasty questions, always follow us on our socials up here. You can always ask away, or of course in the comments, and check out our dynasty videos there as well. Now we are drafting in the 6th spot, right dead spot in the middle of a 12-man PPR league. So again, we're going to go into some details of players that we're picking, reasons why we like them, and of course, you can kind of see where some of these players are, either they're dropping, falling, whatever it might be, to kind of help you guys get a better understanding of where players are falling, where you could possibly reach, and of course, where are those good sleepers. So let's make sure we're going to jump right into this. We're going to make it really simple for you guys. So we're going to jump into that 6th spot. Again, dead spot. I personally am not crazy about picks 4 to 8. I think these are like the spots I'm not like, oh man, I would rather avoid and get into the top 3 to get really one of those stud running backs that you're seeing right here, or kind of go a little bit later on into the end of the draft. So as you see, the top 4 running backs totally makes sense. This is kind of a flip-flop. Usually you see Jonathan Taylor in the 1st spot and then Chris McCaffrey 2nd. Then obviously you see Derrick Henry and Eckler. Cooper Kupp is a good pick here. I actually would have gone Justin Jefferson, which is what I'm going to do right now. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be a better option than picking a running back here. You could stretch if you like the running backs in this spot like Najee Harris or Joe Mixon. I love Najee or Joe, but I think I'd rather go with the safer bet and a safer floor in Jefferson and grabbing somebody there. Obviously, you're seeing a lot of the running backs finishing up here. Then obviously tight end, right? You got Travis Kelce finishing up there. I'm actually going to go running back. I'm going to go ALVIN KAMARA here because you do need at least really one good running back that's going to help you guys out. And obviously being not I would say PPR, you might go to receiver, but I think the running back position in the PPR still is needed here. Now, as you can see, you've got Kyle Pitts, Connor, maybe Mahomes. I've seen some people kind of stretch in the quarterback position like you see Josh Allen here. I, for one, am actually going to go Kyle Pitts. Again, rounding out the 3 positions, you've got a stud in Kyle Pitts. You've got a great running back in ALVIN KAMARA, who's a top 5 back. And then, of course, Justin Jefferson, who's a top 5 receiver who could finish up really realistically number 1 in fantasy. So I'll go Pitts there. I like him in that offense. Yeah, Mariota does scare me a little bit. It's a different offense where compared to Matt Ryan, who obviously is an amazing quarterback who's been very consistent. But being one of the few targets that Mariota has, Kyle Pitts is going to get the ball. Now, looking at this, you got obviously some good running backs in Montgomery, Etienne, Breece Hall. I'm actually going to go Breece Hall. I'm going to stretch there. Look, Breece Hall is going to have Michael Carter there, and they did say Michael Carter is going to get a lot of touches. It's going to be a 50-50 share. But I don't really am necessarily too concerned with that. If you look at Javonte Williams last year, who came in as a rookie, had a share with Melvin Gordon, still did really well. I'm not expecting Breece Hall to be a top 10 back, but I do expect him to be in the 15 to 20 range for me. And almost every year, there's at least one rookie running back in the top 10, and I'm hoping, obviously, it's Breece Hall. So now we're going to look at filling out the rest of this roster. I'm not going to stretch into quarterback. A lot of you guys do go this route, and there's nothing wrong with going like, say, Lamar or Kyler Murray. Those 2 quarterbacks are absolutely going to get you a lot of points, and they're studs. I think you can just get more value there. So for me, I'm actually going to go receiver and go Jerry Jeudy. I like that offense with obviously Russell Wilson being the new quarterback. I think that offense is going to absolutely just stun everybody. I think it's more of a passing offense than anything else. I do wish Sutton was in that spot. I think Sutton's a little bit of a better option. I think he's going to be the better receiver for Denver, but I like Jerry Jeudy still in that particular spot. Now, you've got A.J. Dillon, who's a good backup, who could also be a 1B if you look at what they've done for Green Bay. You've got really good receivers here. You've got Darnell Mooney. Absolutely love. Juju, he's got a lot of great rapport. Brandon Cooks is another really good wide receiver who's very consistent. I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to go Juju Smith, just because Juju, I think, being one of the few weapons that Patrick Mahomes has, this is actually going to be the bright spot. When Juju was not the number 1 focus receiver, he was phenomenal when he had Antonio Brown on the outside. He's going to have that in a Travis Kelce, where he's now really going to be the second option for him. And I think that's actually going to benefit him a lot and not put a lot of that pressure on him. So I like that spot. Here, I'm going to actually go Tony Pollard as far as a good backup flex spot. Tony Pollard actually is going to get a lot of action, especially in the receiving part. So I think, again, as a PPR league, this is somewhere I think Pollard is getting slept on because Yeah, Zeke is still the number one back. They're going to use him and run him like crazy. But Pollard, being that this offense is losing some of the weapons and is going to need as many weapons as they can get, I like Pollard's options here. Now, you look at the rest of this roster here. I still don't have a quarterback. I still don't have a kicker defense, which I'm okay with. And then it's all depth from there, right? So I've got 3 receivers. I've got 3 running backs, and now I'll just kind of fill this out. Some of your leagues may have some limitations on how many players you can have per position. Obviously, that's going to change. From this one, we're just going to say there isn't any. So I'm actually going to go Chase Edmonds here. Again, another running back I can fill in. Edmonds will most likely be the RB1 for Miami. Obviously, with Sony Michel being gone, that only helps utilize and kind of amplifies his ability. Dameon Pierce here I like a lot. He's kind of someone you could have stretched and grabbed, especially since Marlon Mack is no longer there, possibly re-signing on the practice squad. Pierce will be the RB1, so there's not actually a bad pickup here, but I'll take the risk and I'll go Edmonds. Now you look at quarterbacks left, you've got Matthew Stafford, Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. Again, some really good options. I'm going to take the risk and not go quarterback in the 9th round. Okay, I'm actually going to go receiver. I'm going to go Chris Olave here. I like Chris Olave in this offense. Again, Jameis Winston was a top 10 quarterback last season before he got hurt, and I think he was 14 touchdowns by that point. I think it was by week 6. So again, if he could stay healthy and you add a Michael Thomas there, you got Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave is going to absolutely benefit from those options there. Now, you saw Trey Lance again leave the board. You still have some really good quarterbacks in Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Tua. I think are some really good options, even a Jameis Winston. So there's some good options there. Again, I'm gonna keep stretching this out. I'm actually going to get a really good backup tight end, Cole Kmet. You don't have to always fill in those type of roles. You can probably stream some tight ends throughout, but in this case, because I have the depth and I have the positions available, having a good tight end like Cole Kmet, who's going to get a lot of targets in that Bears offense, I'll take the risk and I'll grab him there. Now, quarterbacks, I'm going to have to take in this round because you're seeing Derek Carr leaving, Kirk Cousins leaving. So if we're really looking at these options, 2 is probably my best option is available left on this board. Without maybe Jameis Winston, those are probably the best options you're going to have available for that. I know there's a lot of uncertainty with Tua. There's a lot of, hey, he can't throw far, then blah, blah, blah. I think Tua is actually a pretty good quarterback. I think he's going to prove a lot. He's got the weapons to really, I would say, redeem himself as far as what you're hearing about him. And I think he can really do really well in that offense. A lot of times, I think sometimes his college career kind of just brought all over. And I don't think it's quite fair to him. So for me, I'm going to take the risk. I'll grab Tua. Again, I'm going to fill out some backs. I'm going to go Brian Robinson. Obviously, there's some issues with his injury due to what happened with him. It's very sad news. If you guys don't know, unfortunately, he was shot. Someone tried to carjack him. Luckily, he came out healthy. He obviously just he got shot. I mean, it's gonna hurt, but he had a lot of smiles. I'm glad he's back. He was going to be the RB1. I still have hope that he's going to play this season. Hopefully he does. So I'll take a little bit of risk. I'm not too worried about that there. With that said, I think Robinson's a good pickup. I'm going to actually go some rookies again. I'm going to go Romeo Dubs. Look, Romeo is going to be a wide receiver that might actually end up doing really well. He may not. I'm okay with taking that risk there. Romeo does have a lot of potential, and he does look really good this preseason. And there's a lot of hype. There's hype behind him. There's hype, with Aaron Rodgers talking him up. So it's a little bit of a risk. But for me, again, adding value, it's not too hard. So I got 2 more spots on my depth. I've got a kicker and defense to pick. I'll pick those guys towards the end. I'm going to actually pick up Justin Fields as my backup quarterback. Again, nothing wrong with a running quarterback. I think running quarterbacks have a lot of value in the league, in fantasy at least, where he's going to get a lot of points, whether it be rushing yards and, of course, the red zone. So I'll take Justin Fields as a good one. I'm not expecting a lot of yards out of him. That's okay. I don't expect much, but I do expect him to actually perform when I need him in a flex week, obviously buy things like that. Obviously, if you're a super flex, we probably would have done this draft a little differently, but I like him there. Then you look at the rest of this options. You got some DJ Chark, Galladay, Jamal Williams. Isaiah McKenzie is another good receiver I'm going to take here. Again, McKenzie is going to be the slot receiver for Buffalo Bills. If you guys watched any Buffalo Bills in the last few years, the slot receiver receives a lot of targets, usually anywhere from 90 to 100 targets his way. Again, you're expecting to get 60 to 70 catches, which is a lot of points, sprinkle in some yards and touchdowns, and he's going to be a really good low R2 wide receiver 2, high wide receiver 3 upside. So I like him there. Now I got to finish up. We go kickers. I like Blankenship here. Good, powerful offense. I think they're going to score a lot for, obviously, the Indianapolis Colts. So having a kicker that's going to be part of an offense that's going to score, of course, is a no-brainer. As you guys know, watching my videos, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I think they've got a lot of great weapons. So, of course, I'm going to pick them. They've got, obviously the reigning, TJ Watt MVP. So I like that. So as you can see here, I feel pretty good. I mean, I'm not crazy about the 6th spot. It's very challenging in the middle of the draft. You might hit some really good spots here and there, but you also might find where you're kind of stretching out just because you don't want to lose a particular player. So that's one thing I've noticed is in the 6th spot, you tend to stretch a little bit further to grab players that you really want. So with that said, I feel really good about that offense. I feel really good about the weapons I've got there. If you guys do agree or disagree, let us know in the comments down below. Of course, if you have questions of your own draft that's upcoming, maybe you have trade questions because you've already drafted and you're already kind of making those rounds, trying to figure out how to better your team before the season starts, always hit us in the comments. Of course, you could always follow us on our socials. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Feel free to ask us there. A lot of people ask us questions just to make sure they're prepared and ready for the season. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell is on. That way you guys are notified every time we drop a video just like this. Of course, if you enjoyed the content, hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. If you guys have not, check out our other mock draft videos, our ranking videos, and of course, if you are in Dynasty, check out those Dynasty rankings. Until then, I'll catch you guys next time.